Up until now, we've been guessing about Kobbie Mainoo's best position under Rúben Amorim. The central midfield setup has been unclear, with different players rotating through various roles, but now we have crucial insight into exactly what Amorim wants from his central midfielders. And in today's video, we're breaking down the specific requirements for both the number 6 and the number 8 in Amorim's system, and finally answering the question, where does Kobbie fit best? Rúben Amorim so far at United, when it comes to the midfield, there's been question marks, hasn't there? You don't exactly know who the best two midfielders are. You don't exactly know what the best midfield setup is. Is it a double pivot? Are you having one deeper 6 and one number 8 going further forward? Who is the best? And where exactly does Kobbie fit in? All been kind of questions that we've been asking ourselves. But Stehausen spoke to Rúben Amorim out in America, and have a listen to these two clips, which give you a real insight into exactly what Amorim wants.
I understand the 68 to 10. I don't fully understand how the 2 works in your system and what responsibilities having the extra defender takes away from her. Can you let me know? And he actually answered the question properly for me. And he mentioned that last season he was under the cosh a little bit. He was probably more like a pair of 6s than he would perhaps like, and what he would really like is a traditional number 6, someone that's going to cover and defend and also take the ball back from the back line and move it forward, and someone that's a little bit more of an 8, someone that's a little bit more box to box, and someone that would push up and force the ball into the final third.
Now, the roles themselves there are quite familiar. We all know what a number 6 is, and we all know what a number 8 is, but because it's a midfield 2 instead of a midfield 3, there's a lot more ground coverage. There's a lot more physicality required for these 2 midfielders. And the most important question to ask here is, what exactly is needed from those 2 players from Rúben? The 6 in Amorim's system is the deepest midfielder. His role out of possession is to cover spaces when United turn over possession and are countered. And like any midfielder, he must be able to defend well as part of a unit. In possession, this player must be comfortable receiving the ball under pressure, facing his own goal, evading the press, and moving the ball forwards. Ideally, he'd be capable of spraying long passes to switch play and find the wingbacks, essentially acting as the quarterback of the team's attacking transitions. Now, the number 8, he operates higher up the pitch. He's responsible for carrying the ball through the middle third and linking play with the attacking players. And this role demands press resistance, an excellent ball carrying ability, and the vision to thread passes through defensive lines. The number 8 must also provide defensive cover when the team loses position and should be able to cover short spaces quickly and carry out pressing instructions. And when you speak about those 2 positions and you talk about Kobbie, I think the thing that you naturally lean towards is how good Kobbie is on the ball. And that's really where he's looked more comfortable. But how does that transition into a deeper role? Looking at Kobbie's recent performances in pre-season, there are clear indicators of where his strengths do lie. First, let's examine his suitability for the deeper 6 role. Against Leeds, we saw that Kobbie has the vision and ability to play those progressive passes through the lines. He also showed that he's got a switch in his locker with a nice ball out to Diogo Dalot, skills that are imperative for a number 6 to possess. We don't see this kind of passing from him enough though. However, against West Ham, we saw where Kobbie's skill set really shines as a number 6. He's fantastic when he receives the ball under pressure, facing his own goal. His close control and ability to turn away from pressing players was evident throughout that match. But being a number 6, as important as it is to be able to receive the ball from your centre-backs, you really have to be able to cover a lot of ground in the modern game. And it's why players like Moises Caicedo and Carlos Baleba are being held up as the 2 shining examples of what a modern number 6 is, and I'll be honest, this is where we do see the limitations of Kobbie in that role. Those same games we talked about earlier reveal why Kobbie would likely struggle to ever be an elite level number 6. His defensive positioning when United don't have the ball is inconsistent, and at times he gets caught too high up the pitch when the team loses possession, leaving gaps that the opposition can exploit. The number 6 role requires exceptional defensive anticipation, being able to read the game, position yourself to intercept passes or press at the right moments. Now, Kobbie shows flashes of this ability, but he also often doesn't react quickly enough to the positioning of his midfield partner. And the biggest inhibiting factor preventing Kobbie from being a good fit for the number 6 role under Amorim, a lack of ability to cover ground quickly when defending transitions. The 6 must be able to get back and protect the defence, and Kobbie's long speed limitations, it would be a major issue. And when all things are considered, and you look at the strengths, while there are elements of being a number 6 where Kobbie is naturally great at, there are other elements that he doesn't particularly have in his locker. And when you line up what Amorim wants from a number 8 and you line up what Mainoo is naturally great at, it's where you realise that the future for Kobbie really does lie in the number 8 role. He's clearly a number 8 midfielder. His acceleration over short distances is much more suited to the number 8 out of possession than a 6. Most importantly, his ball carrying ability is tailor-made for what Amorim wants from this position. His driving runs through midfield consistently break the lines and create attacking opportunities. His press resistance becomes even more valuable in the number 8 role, where he's expected to receive the ball in tighter spaces and keep possession for his team. His understanding of when to release the ball and when to carry it himself shows the intelligence required for that position. He has the ability to get his teammates out of trouble and make a dodgy pass look like a good one. And against West Ham, he also showed his ability to follow pressing instructions and win the ball high up the pitch. But when it comes to that number 8 role at Manchester United, well, you've got Bruno Fernandes. And you know what I think we're going to be seeing this season? I think you're going to be seeing not Mainoo necessarily being the understudy to Bruno, but I believe that's his pathway. His pathway at Manchester United will really open up when Bruno Fernandes leaves. And this coming season, I think, will really show us a good period of growth and development for Kobbie playing behind Bruno in the pecking order for that number 8 role. While Kobbie shows promise, there really are areas for improvement. I don't mean that in a bad way. He just needs to develop. His ability to consistently break defensive lines with 4 passes isn't quite at the level that Amorim needs. His decision-making can be inconsistent. The moment just before Ugarte set up Amad for the offside goal against West Ham highlighted this. Kobbie forced a pass in a dangerous area and lost possession, leading to a counter-attacking opportunity for the opposition, and his passing range, while improving, needs to expand. The number 8 in Amorim's system must be able to thread balls through to the attacking players, and Kobbie has shown he can do this, but not with the consistency of a first-choice starter. And all things considered, when you look at exactly what Rúben Amorim wants, when you look at exactly where Kobbie's natural strengths are, and where he does need to develop, he's definitely a number 8. You could have him as a number 6, and he would be great at receiving the ball from his defence, but he's not good enough out of possession. I think I've said this before, but if you take what's good about Ugarte's game, and you take what's good about Kobbie's game, and you made one midfielder out of it, you'd have the perfect number 6 for United. So right now, it's going to be interesting to watch Kobbie develop. I think you're going to see him far more as a number 8. And that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be on the edge of the opposition's box the whole time. But if there's 2 central midfielders, he's not going to be the one tasked, and shouldn't be the one tasked, with receiving the ball from his defence. He should actually be the ball carrier. And that is why I think we do need to sign another midfielder. Now, you can let me know what you think in the comments below about Kobbie's future. But this is where I think it lies. And judging by what we've seen so far in this preseason, I think Amorim agrees.